Hey friends, I often encourage folks to check out distress tolerance skills, which are they come from dialectical behavioral therapy, and they just are things that give us time in between distress and acting on an urge or catastrophizing. So you'll notice that oftentimes in response to distress, we'll like do some urgent behavior or we'll go into some really upsetting, catastrophizing story like, I'm the worst person on the planet, or those people have done something so bad, or now everything's going to end and fall apart. Or we'll get on the phone and end a relationship or quit a job or send somebody a really, wild text or throw everything away, or use a substance that we had decided we didn't want to use. And so distress tolerance skills come to give us a little space in between those two things for us to move from our defense system, our lower brain, back up into our executive functioning. So distress tolerance skills are not meant to make a situation better, but they're just helping us to not make a situation worse. But how do we remember to use our distress tolerance activities or skills? So these are a couple of ways that I have found help me to remember to use my distress tolerance skills and other people too. So one of the easiest ones for a lot of people is to put an actual image on their phone, like wallpaper, that lists either just as distress tolerance or it lists out one of the distress tolerance skills. You can find loads of images if you search, and I will include an Etsy link to there's like a distress tolerance cheat sheet that has all of the distress tolerance skills that I have bought to use as my wallpaper. Um, so another thing is to put like a regular check-in with an alarm on your phone. Like every hour, you put an alarm and it just says like check in with your physical body. And in this way, we're probably going to catch ourselves um, before we get to a distress, or we might be in an act of distress and it'll remind us to use our distress tolerance skills. Some people don't like that, though. It can feel a little like PDA. So another fun way that I've come up with to do that is to choose a number that's meaningful to you. So like for me, my birthday's on the 27th. So anytime I see a 27, I do a check-in with myself and I feel like the universe is like saying like, hey, how are you? Um, and that has been really helpful for me. Um, Another thing that I did for the first 2 years that I was taking DBT because I really needed it so badly was I would hold a like a reusable cup full of ice with me all of the time. Just knowing the ice was there made me feel supported because my favorite distress tolerance skill is temperature, using ice to initiate that dive reflex, which lowers our heart rate. But I could actually take a piece of ice out, hold it in my hand, or put it on my wrist. Another one can be, let me just get to my list of ideas. Um, Another one can be to print out signs and put them around your house, on the fridge, in the bathroom, etc. Oh, another fun one is to make a little bracelet. Where did I just put my bracelet? Oh, here it is. I've made this one. I've made loads of them, but you can make them with whatever. It could just say like DT to remind you of distress. It could say ice. It could say tip, which is one of the skills. It could say any of the skill names or any word that reminds you. This one happens to say WWJD. I don't know if you remember, like in the 90s, there were these WWJD bracelets. What would Jesus do? And mine is what would Debbie do? Because she's my DBT teacher. So it just reminds me to be like, what would Debbie do in this moment? um, and then you can just wear something like this to remind you. Some people like to have like an uncomfortable ring or a ring that doesn't quite fit. And when they fidget with it, it's a reminder to them to like check in and use their distress tolerance skills. Um, you can get creative. If you want more ideas, put it into ChatGPT. Say like, how could I remind myself to use distress tolerance skills? And I bet they would come up with 1,000 more. Okay, good luck using your DT skills. Oh, when push comes to shove, a really great one is to use 988. Just send them a text and say, I want to use distress tolerance skills, but I don't feel willing or I can't remember any of them. And that's a great place. They'll know distress tolerance skills and they can offer you support. And if you're in the US, you pay for that with your tax dollars. So it's worth taking advantage of it. And those people are there and ready to help us. You can call them too, but some people like texting. Okay, lots of love.